Hey all, Bree from the No Guilt Mom podcast, and I have got a gift for you this holiday season. If you love the No Guilt Mom podcast, and I mean love the No Guilt Mom podcast, then tell us about it. Leave us a review, and you can be entered to win a No Guilt Mom gift card. All you have to do is leave a review, take a screenshot, and then simply go to noguiltmom.com/review to enter our giveaway for a free No Guilt Mom gift card, simply for telling us what you think about the podcast. It is amazing. But don't delay. Get right on this, as we're going to be giving away that No Guilt Mom gift card on December 21st. So get right on over and visit noguiltmom.com/review.
Welcome to the No Guilt Mom podcast. I am your host, Joanne Crone, joined here by my feisty co-host, Bree Tucker.
Why, hello, everybody. How are you?
Feisty was the only thing I could think of because I was just telling Bree, I'm like, I am so feisty. And she's like, feisty's good.
I know. People like feisty. Feisty is a positive thing.
Well, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I could get in some trouble with the feistiness.
Oh, well, yeah, because you have to worry about offending people sometimes with the feistiness. But at the same time, I think feisty is it's fun. I like talking to someone who's feeling passionate, because when I talk to someone, it's like, I don't really care. It's like, what the? No, it's not fun to have a conversation with that.
No, I got feisty about today's topic, and that's how we started this episode, because it is the day after Mother's Day. Bree came in this morning like, Bree, I need to talk about something. And it was that I was looking at all these Facebook groups yesterday for Mother's Day, and what got to me were comments about, oh my gosh, I am so spoiled on Mother's Day. My husband is giving my two kids a bath for the very first time. He takes such good care of me. And I was like, okay, Bree.
I'm just laughing, thinking about how this conversation started.
She's like, because it's a fine line. But the thing that got me so feisty about it was that it was just a low bar for feeling spoiled, in my opinion. And I need to add that, in my opinion, having like my husband take care of the kids for one day of the year would not, like, I wouldn't consider myself being spoiled on Mother's Day because of that.
Right. And we were talking about that because I was like, well, everybody has their different standards for their relationship. Mm-hmm. And again, like you've heard me say plenty of times, because you've known me for a long time. Yeah. My ex-husband used to love to tell me, well, I keep the bar real low, so if I do anything minimal, you're excited. And I'm like, I remember him saying that to me, and me just being like speechless. I'm like, what do I have to say to that? I've accepted the low bar, so dang it.
Yeah, but like Mother's Day was such a loaded issue on some boards. And it was so funny because like I was telling you all of these posts I saw from like women who were just like mad that their husbands like didn't take any time to do anything for them, which understandably mad. But things from like, oh, like we just wanted to go over to the next town to get Dairy Queen, because small town life, Dairy Queen's in the next town.
Yep.
And the husband's like, no, I just don't feel like it. And the woman's here on the group being like, why? It's my one day of year. Why can't you just go to Dairy Queen in the next town? And it's like,
all I want to do is hop in the car,
go to Dairy Queen,
go get my Blizzard, get my Blizzard on, treat yourself.
And then they dump the cup up to make... Like,
I know, right? That's so funny.
I love Dairy Queen. I love Dairy Queen. But from that to feeling like Mother's Day was such a like work for them. Comments like, I have to squeeze 7 days of work into 6 days and then pretend to relax and feel quote unquote appreciated. And people were just mad about it.
Right. And I was saying how the groups that I'm in, a lot of people were very happy with whatever little things were happening for Mother's Day. And I don't mean little things, because I am not trying to negate it at all. Like, honestly, if I go back on my best Mother's Day, it was the Mother's Day that my ex-husband turned off the baby monitor and I got to sleep for an extra hour.
Yeah.
And he took care of the baby for that extra hour. I felt so appreciated for that, because that was such a huge thing. But the more you and I talked about this too, it does have a lot to do with love language, but that's a secondary thing. But again, in the groups I was in, I felt like it was a different, and I feel like it has a lot to do with your perspective about your relationship, roles within a family. All those kinds of things make a difference.
And I feel it's a loaded holiday as it is, because you either expect the world on Mother's Day or you just don't want to deal with it at all.
Well, and the other thing about Mother's Day is that it's also not entirely a holiday that you get to relax and be loved and appreciated, because a lot of us have a mother that we have to then also celebrate and appreciate. So it's a delicate balance. It is.
Another post I saw, which I feel like I related to a bit, was they're like, all of these people sent me texts that say Happy Mother's Day, and now I need to go and reply to all these texts. I'm like, I feel you on that one.
I did. I was there too. Like, I had to go like take some time, and on top of it too, I got a little annoyed because they started at like 7 a.m, and I was trying to sleep. My phone kept dinging. I'm like, listen, all y'all on the East Coast, chill out. I am Pacific time frame here. You're hitting me up way too early.
Oh.
But yeah, and then I had to go, like, I walked my dog in the morning like I do, and then I went and sat on my front porch and took an hour to answer all the text messages and text message to people that I did a couple of groups because I was like, this knocks off 10 people. So, but yeah, it was a lot.
I always feel like I'm the most insensitive person because I do not send the Happy Mother's Day text, nor do I reply to them at all. And like, I slightly feel bad about that, and slightly like I don't envy your hour of replying to text. I'm like, that is not what I want to do. Like,
it wasn't at the top of my list either, but there were times where I don't know. I think we all pick and choose our battles, don't we?
Yeah.
What we need to do.
It's just so interesting. It's funny because my kids came to me on Mother's Day and they're like, today's the day, Mom, where you get to decide where we want to eat. Well, okay, you get 2 days a year. I'm like, my birthday too? They're like, yep, your birthday too. And I'm like, and so every other day of the year, all 363? They're like, that's our decision. I'm like, yeah, right. But it's such a loaded holiday. And also, like, we really wanted to talk about this feeling about what counts as spoiling and how you can maybe get to a point where it's not just Mother's Day that this happens for you.
Right.
It's this way of, like, relationships are complicated. They're so complicated, and there's no easy fix. But just taking like small little steps to getting more of what you want from your family, that's what we're going to cover in today's episode.
Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop. So let's get started.
Hey, Aubrey here, and I wanted to share one of my favorite gifts to give during the holiday season, a Storyworth book. It is the most amazing gift ever. Storyworth is an online service that lets you create a special and unique gift of someone's story. I've given Storyworth books to both of my parents, and it has been their favorite gift, hands down. And did I mention it is so easy? Storyworth emailed my parents questions every week that I handpicked from their massive list of questions that they have. All my parents had to do was open their email and answer them. That easy. I asked my dad questions like, did you have any rules that you set for yourself as a parent, which you immediately broke? And he did. I even asked both of my parents, are you more like your mom or your dad? And they shared a lot of really amazing qualities that I didn't know about my grandparents at the time. Then at the end of the year, Storyworth compiles all of their answers, puts them into this gorgeous book that covers everything. My parents love showing us their books, and I personally love getting a chance to read them. With Storyworth, I am giving those I love a thoughtful and personal gift from the heart that preserves their memories and stories for years to come. Go to storyworth.com/NGM and save $10 on your first purchase. That's storyworth.com/NGM to save $10 on your first purchase.
We're hitting that time of year where my brain gets so overloaded in December that I look for anything to make life easier. And I have to say, Brie, that Green Chef is one of those services.
Yes, Green Chef is there to take away the dreaded, oh my goodness, what are we going to eat for dinner tonight? You can eat clean all holiday long with over 80 weekly meal options each week, featuring things like quick and easy, protein-packed, calorie-smart, or my personal favorite, the keto options.
And you don't have to lose track of healthy eating habits during the holidays because every Green Chef customer gets a free session with one of their registered dietitians who can walk you through how to make clean eating work for you, which is very cool.
And I have to say that I have been loving their recipes lately. They put things together I have never thought of. This week, we're trying the lemon basil caper pork with sauteed cauliflower, bell peppers, almonds, and feta cheese, my favorite. Their recipes make it so easy to support my wellness goals without skipping on flavor.
For Green Chef's best deal of the year, get $250 off with code NGM250 at greenchef.com/NGM250. That's greenchef.com/NGM250
NGM250. And don't forget to use that code NGM250 to get $250 off.
Green Chef, the #1 meal kit for eating well.
Hey, if you are feeling overwhelmed with everything that you have to do at home and you want your family to take on more responsibility, we have a plan for you. Come and get the Happy Parent Checklist. You can get it at noguiltmom.com/HPC. And if you love listening to No Guilt Mom and how we chat about all things parenting, then you need to go check out the PG-ish podcast with our friend Erin Holland.
Yes, Erin is on a mission to transform your parenting experience from overwhelm and frustration to growth and success with bite-sized wisdom and truth bombs. It's amazing.
I love Erin, and twice a week she curates clips from today's psychologists, authors, parents, and teachers to provide you with guidance to grow as an individual and as a parent as you raise happy, healthy, successful kids. We're so totally on the same wavelength, and survive it all with a little more well-being. She's perfect for our busy mom's lifestyle, and most episodes are under 30 minutes, so check her out everywhere you listen to No Guilt Mom. And now on with the show.
You want mom life to be easier. That's our goal too. Our mission is to raise more self-sufficient and independent kids, and we're going to have fun doing it. We're going to help you delegate and step back. Each episode will tackle strategies for positive discipline, making our kids more responsible and making our lives better in the process. Welcome to the No Guilt Mom podcast.
Okay, so let's talk about this, how we as moms can get a little more spoiled all throughout the year and don't have to rely on just one day.
Yes, I will say this, and you're right. Like before the break, you were talking about how your kids were like, "Mom, you get to pick where we eat 2 days a year,"
and I was like, "Ha ha ha!"
I know, right? Like, and my kids know there is 2 days a year, and that's exactly what it is. Like, you don't fight with me on Mother's Day, and you do not get to fight with me on my birthday.
That's true. There's no fighting involved. They have to accept everything you
accept
say.
Everything I say. That is like and you know what? I could be happy with no other gifts. Like, I don't want them to make me things. I want them to just love and appreciate me, damn it.
Yeah. Well, it's so interesting, though, that you bring that up, because it's like just not having to fight is such a gift in itself.
Right.
But it's not like something we can expect realistically all throughout the year.
No, which is why I just asked for one simple day.
Yeah.
Drive me to Dairy Queen, dang it.
Yes.
That's all I wanted. That's all I want today.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think you bring up a great point, because fighting makes us just feel exhausted, and, just not having to deal with that back and forth is a gift in itself.
Exactly.
But at the same time, it does not mean that kids are unrespectful fighting with us. It just means that, fighting takes more energy.
Right. And there is a difference on a few things. For those of you guys that got real littles, like, I did not have this as a rule when my kids were really little, because a 2 and a 3-year-old don't get it. They're not going to understand it. I think I started enacting this routinely every year. And I want to say it probably took 3 years of doing this every birthday and Mother's Day before it finally clicked with my kids. And also, with that being said, we honor this for Father's Day, and we honor it for the kids' birthdays within reason on their birthdays. It's not a yes day movie, guys. It's not anything you say happens. But my kids do know that they get rule of the roost for the most part on their birthday. Like, it's a day to celebrate that person.
Yeah.
So again, took a few years. We do it a lot. My kids are now in junior high. We started when they were elementary school, probably about 2nd or 3rd grade, and they were able to get the concept then. So I have trained my kids well.
Yeah, we do the same thing for my kids' birthdays and for my husband's birthday and for Father's Day as well. Like, anything you say goes. But it's also kind of funny because, like, in terms of food, none of us really like making a decision. So it's kind of like what
do you want?
It's easy. It's really easy to make someone else happy when you just give them the carte blanche to be like, okay, that's what you want goes. There you go. Just ask them. It's that communication thing.
Yes.
So let's talk about these first tips to make sure that you are getting that spoilage. It doesn't sound right. That sounds like food. Getting spoiled.
You are getting the appreciation you deserve.
Getting the appreciation you deserve. Now, a lot of times we don't even know how we like to feel appreciated because we are thinking so much of other people.
True. And like the other thing too is like, Okay, how many people out there in podcast land have heard of like the 5 love languages? Hopefully a few of them out there, right? And I had heard of it many, many times, but I hadn't really stopped to actually think about really what my love language was until probably a couple of years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
And I'm 41 now. Good gosh, I must have been a very difficult person to be in a relationship with when I was younger. So yeah, like, but once you realize, right?
Once you realize what makes you happy.
Yeah, once you realize what makes you happy and what makes you feel appreciated, you can go so much further. So it doesn't necessarily have to be the love language, but that's a really obvious, easy answer. And there's a quiz. So, I mean, hey, it can't make it much easier than that.
And it's a lot of trial and error. So this point really is allow yourself to relish in those good times when you feel loved and appreciated. And notice like what it is that's making you feel loved and appreciated.
Right.
Like what is yours?
Oh, mine are acts of service or kindness. Like if someone just like offers to do something that I normally do, like, oh, I don't know, like, hey, why don't you relax and I'll go walk the dog? Here, Mom, take the remote. You get to pick what movie we're going to watch tonight. Or, hey, Mom, you pick the family game night game. Like things like that are really sweet and thoughtful to me. And that means so much more to me than a diamond ring or gifts, whatever. I just,
Yeah, I totally see that. I'm an acts of service person too. I do like that. And I'm like a little bit mixed with appreciation because I have to say like when I get like the letters from my kids from school on like Mother's Day, thank you all teachers out there who make kids write the like 3 paragraphs of Mother's Day essays because that's amazing. But when I get those, I'm like,
right?
It's wonderful.
That's where you hear the things that they don't normally think to tell you.
Yeah.
That, oh my gosh, you really do notice that I do X, Y, Z all the time. I thought I was just being taken for granted. Oh my goodness. Yes.
Yeah.
Those are huge. And also, if you're anything like me, like you have those moments where you feel so loved and appreciated and you're like, oh, I'm never going to forget this. And then flash forward a month later and the kids have been fighting about whatever and the dog just puked on the carpet and you can't think of a single gosh darn moment where you ever felt appreciated.
Yeah.
You forget about those moments.
You forget about them.
So write them down, like maybe have a journal. We talked about like the Flecks of Gold journal before and one of our recent episodes with Rachel Nielsen. And then also like maybe put it on your phone, mark it on your calendar or something so that you can kind of come back to those moments, remember how you feel, remember what was done so that you can really start to keep tabs and notice what makes you feel loved and appreciated.
Yeah, this message is sponsored by Greenlight. It is so hard to raise kids who know how to manage money. Bree, right now, my kids are all about earning money for presents. My daughter wants to get presents for all of her friends, and my son is doing a Secret Santa with his friends.
Oh, I hear you. And if you're looking to raise kids that are financially responsible, we have got a lifesaver recommendation for you that you need to check out. It is Greenlight. Greenlight is a debit card and money app made for families that gives kids and teens an easy and fun way to gain financial literacy, all while giving parents peace of mind.
You can send instant money transfers, automate allowance, and even keep an eye on kids' spending with real-time notifications. Meanwhile, your kids can begin their journey towards financial autonomy by learning how to save, invest, and spend wisely.
So sign up for Greenlight today and get your first month free when you go to greenlight.com/NGM.
That's greenlight.com/NGM to try Greenlight for free. Greenlight.com/NGM. My son is playing a game right now on his computer where he's a thief and the cops are after him. So I'm so excited about this new app, Give As We Grow, where instead of being the quote unquote bad guys, kids are practicing giving back.
That is so cool, Joanne. I really wish that there was something like this when my kids were younger that got them excited about giving back to others and helped them build a better understanding of what it really means to volunteer.
Give As We Grow is the first of its kind free educational mobile app for children ages 8 to 11 that teaches kids via fun, service-focused minigame quests to tap into their unique talents and interests to help others.
And did you know that studies show that there is a biological connection between generosity and happiness, and that volunteering improves people's physical and mental health? I mean, kids who volunteer typically do better in school and are less likely to engage in risky behaviors. And that is something that I think we all want for our kids.
Ready to spark a new movement in generosity? Find and download Give As We Grow for free in the App Store for Android and iOS. And for resources for the whole family, visit giveaswegrow.org.
like that, being reminded of those times, because that goes totally out of our heads. And also just like you're almost like a little scientist taking note of what makes you feel loved and appreciated. So then you can go on to the next step. You could start communicating that.
Yes, because that's the hard part a lot of times. Like, it's scary because you're talking about being vulnerable.
Yeah.
Telling somebody what makes you happy and knowing that you can't control what they're going to say or do back.
Yeah, it is a scary situation to be in, like putting yourself out there, because a lot of times, like whenever I want to talk about what I need, I feel like someone's going to come back at me with like, oh, that doesn't really matter. Or, oh, like the biggest fear of mine is, oh, you're so selfish.
Oh my gosh, right? And even though you've never heard said, you still have that fear.
You have that feeling that, oh, yeah, oh, you're so selfish. Oh, like you make a big deal out of nothing. And I think a lot of moms have that.
Yeah.
I mean, if we haven't been listened to in the past, or if we feel like we haven't been listened to in the past, we fill in the blanks with like all of these assumptions about why people do the things they do.
Yeah.
And then it just makes us feel even worse. It's like the football team I talked about in The Upper Limit.
Yes.
Like the bad football team who tells you all these bad things about yourself, and the little bench warmers, the good guys, never get a chance to play.
Right. And it's all these voices about all the possible bad things that could happen. And it's rough. But even when you're having the conversation, if you're okay, so once you're able to get over the vulnerability of it,
yes,
and you're having the conversation, the best piece of advice I can give regarding this conversation, and I am by no means an expert, but I do know this for a fact. Do not play the blame game.
Yeah, that's
right?
a hard one.
Yeah, because if you come into the conversation with, you always make me feel like you don't love me or nobody in this family appreciates me.
Oh, yeah.
It just, and I'm saying it not in a voice to mock. I'm saying it in a voice like where I'm fighting back, not crying, because that's how it comes out whenever that would happen to me.
I just had it like yesterday for no reason. And I felt all the things inside, like I'm such a horrible mom. And because I'm such a horrible mom, this is why they're treating me this way. And like all these voices that go in your head that
aren't true.
They're not true, first of all. It's so then when they come out and we start playing the blame game, it does nothing for the relationship and doesn't get us what we want either.
Right.
I have to constantly quiet those. I'll be like, okay, why am I feeling this? I'm probably tired, or I'm hungry, or something else. I need to go figure things out before I bring this out in the open.
Yes, hangry takes me down all the time.
Yeah.
But like if you're able to come to it from the other standpoint, like if someone was to walk up to you and say, you know, Joanne, I really love when you tell me that I did a great job on writing the podcast outline. It makes me feel so appreciated and like you really respect my opinion on things.
I'd be like, I'm going to tell you you're doing a good job on the podcast. You did a really good job today, Brie, on the podcast.
Well, right? And then I would be like, can we do that some more? Because I love how we have that kind of communication. And chances are you're going to be like, yeah.
Because I feel like to me that would be such a gift, because like you're telling me exactly how to make you happy. I want to make sure everybody's happy. And yeah, I think it's a gift telling people how to make you happy.
Well, and I think in a lot of our relationships, people are that's what you do, right? You want to make your loved ones happy in some way, shape, or form. Doesn't mean that your whole existence is to make them happy, but if you love somebody, you probably want to see them happy.
Yes.
So if they come to you and tell you how to make them happy, you're going to listen a little bit more, and you're going to be like, oh, okay, great. Okay, I will do that more.
Exactly.
Thanks for being so point blank and black and white with me, right?
Yeah, definitely. So I think you could do this in the terms of like the parenting labor in the house, like with the bath example, like, oh my gosh, that meant so much to me when you just took the kids and you gave them a bath.
Yeah.
And you could even go further and be like, can we like think about you giving them a bath, like maybe like once a week or twice a week, or like work out something where we can share that and just take the conversation from there and get that moment of happiness more.
The worst thing that's going to happen, is that the person you're talking to is going to go, no. Right?
Yeah.
I'll say that's the worst thing that could happen. You're no further back than you were when you started the conversation. So then you're like, okay, maybe you're like, okay, maybe you're not. I mean, I don't know. It just depends. But you're no worse off than you were. So you can just continue to bring the conversation up and bring it up again and again.
Yeah.
That's like our third thing. Our third point of this is that realize that nothing is perfect.
Nothing is perfect.
And everything's a process, right?
Yep. It's like we can't expect to try something new and immediately have it change things. I think this is something that's put out there in the media and even like on social media. people post these things of their kids doing these wonderful things, like wonderful things. And I do it too. Like I just posted something about my daughter in competition. And like someone commented, like all these comments come in and it was dance competition. They're like, oh my gosh, she must be so happy doing what she loves. Like she looks great up there. And my thought was, well, she looks happy because that's part of the dance. Like they have to have their facials going so that she's happy.
Yeah, you have to smile and be enjoying it because nobody wants to see someone pissed off dancing on stage.
Yeah, you have to smile. But I think we so get into this like faulty mindset where we see something in 1 second of time and immediately think that, oh, like she's born to dance and do this.
And that it's perfect.
And that it's perfect. And you don't get this whole backstory of the tears and the frustration and the problems like that we've gone through with it. Mm-hmm. You only see this one instant in time. And I think that's what we see in a lot of parenting too. We see this one instant of time and we don't know about the messiness.
Right, because as much as we would all love to talk about something, have everyone walk away agreeing like, yep, that was a great idea. We're going to do that. Yeah. And we all hit the ground running and we all do it. And there's never a hiccup. No one ever forgets. No one ever is tired one day. Nobody ever goes, oh, I have a better idea. Let's try it this way instead. That's not reality. We're human. We all make mistakes. We sometimes forget. We sometimes think we've got a better idea and we run with it without talking to the other person, not realizing that we're completely missing the thing that they had wanted out of it.
I think it just leads us to disappointment when we have that like feeling that something
that you
will
could
be
achieve
perfect
perfection
right away. Like it's something that I feel, well, I did marathons in my 20s. And before I did marathons, guys, I wasn't a runner at all. I decided one day, I'm like, well, I need to lose 20 pounds. And like, I had this thought in my head, oh yeah, if I like ran a marathon, I'm sure I would be like thinner. That was my thought process. It was ridiculous. I will say that right now. But what I learned through it is, first of all, that yeah, I was slow, but I was still slow at the end of the marathon. However, there was improvement, and that improvement didn't come from anything innately skilled in my running. It just came from showing up every day and like just trying again and trying again. And my running coach put it perfectly. And she's like, you know what? In running, you have good days and you have great days. And that's what always got me out there. Anytime that like I was feeling tired or anything, I'm like, this is a good day.
Yeah.
And then anytime I felt like I was rocking, I'm like, okay, this is a great day. But it's really showing you that there's like, some days are going to be good and some days are going to be great, but not attaching that bad thing to it. And it helps propel me forward.
You're right, because if you have that fear of the bad day, I'm just not going to try them because it's going to be a bad day.
Yeah.
I would, that's me. I would 100% have that mindset. I'm just going to fail anyway, so I'm not even going to try so that I don't have to worry about failing.
Yeah, but if you start it, be like, okay, well, this happened. Okay, today is a good day. I'm breathing, I'm walking. It's a good day.
Yeah, it's good. It's a start. So remember that. Remember that nothing is perfect. It's always a process. So let's even get bigger on this one. Even in parenting, both Joanne and I have a plethora of experience with kids and education and parenting and all of that. Yet our parenting experiences are not perfect. Like, I feel like we're pretty honest with you guys that like our kids, we have our ups and our downs. For sure. Now, granted, I'll admit there's less downs than ups. I would say that overall, there's a lot more ups in my parenting journey with my kids, but like sometimes they're a struggle. Right now, I'm having some struggles.
I think it's all about how you look at it, though, because I mean, with struggles right now, you know that this is part of the process.
Yes.
This is a struggle.
I know we're going to get out of it. I know right now, like per se, like we're in the woods. But I can see the light. Yeah. We're almost to the path. We're almost on our way out. And, you know, we might trip. We might stumble. Take a few more minutes to get out of the woods. But we're going to get there. I know we are.
Yeah.
So keeping that mindset that you're just going to keep working at it. And it's just going to continue to have those great days.
It is. And, you know, there's plenty of stuff like we don't share on social media because they're very specific and personal to our families. So don't think like we're here giving parenting advice and like we don't have any of the bad stuff. We can't share the bad stuff because like our kids have privacy and they're people too.
Right.
So it's like
and as they get older, they care more. Man, they care more suddenly.
I think my daughter would be okay with me sharing this because it was funny because it was with my parents because my parents visited over the weekend and we were all having dinner and like she was just like, she was arguing with me about being right about something.
Okay.
And it's a very me trait. Like, I will argue about being right, like, so far. And seeing that in my daughter, I tell her sometimes that she told my mom that I said this. She's like, Mimi, yeah, you know what my mom says to me? She's like, I'm going to go cry in the corner, and then I'm going to go call your grandparents and tell them how sorry I was.
What did your mom say?
My mom just laughed. Like, both my dad and my mom were giving each other like side eyes when like my daughter was giving this to me, because it was me to a T. But I mean, there are times I just want to go in a corner and I want to cry. But you realize that, okay, this is what I went through as a teenager too. Mm-hmm. It's being given back to me now. It sucks. And I need to go apologize to my parents.
Oh, I apologize to my parents all the time. My favorite thing to say to my daughter, though, and I say it so much that even my parents like say it too, like, Audrey, there's only room for one of us, because my daughter is a mini me, and I'll be like, nope, I had these character traits first. You back off. And then, it's funny because it's a joke. So my daughter would be like, I do them better, so you better back off. Oh, good Lord. It's so hard when you got a mini you. And then, yes, I tell my parents at least once a week that I am so sorry for everything. And they're always like, it's funny how time heals all wounds. Because, like, my parents would be like, oh, you weren't that bad.
And you're like, like, maybe.
So, all right. So that is our tidbit of information for you guys for today, for our Mother's Day realization.
Our Mother's Day, yes. Make Mother's Day not just one day of a year with such really, really high expectations, but take those little pieces and put them throughout by first allowing yourself to feel the good times and acknowledging when you feel loved and appreciated.
Yes. And then talking to your partner about those times, and talking to your family about what you would like to see us all doing more.
Mm-hmm. And then realize that nothing is perfect and everything is a process. As much as we would like to like give you something that'll just flip the switch, it doesn't work that way, and everything is complicated.
Yes. But you'll get there. You will get there. You will have good days and you will have great days.
Have good days and have great days. And also... Also, the other little saying I saw in the window in downtown Gilbert, you can't make everyone happy. You are not a taco. So
hallelujah to that. Truth bomb delivered. Only tacos can make everyone happy.
Only tacos. Yes.
maybe a side of a margarita.
Oh, yeah. That would be great.
Yeah.
That would be great. So remember, the best mom is a happy mom. Take care of you. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks so much for stopping by. Are you looking for something to listen to with your whole family? Then check out 6 Minutes, produced and created by Gen Z Media. With over 200 twisty, cliffhanger-filled episodes, 6 Minutes tells the story of 11-year-old Holiday, who was pulled from the icy waters with no memory of who she is or where she came from.
3 years ago, Brinley Pasternak helped the Anders family uncover the truth about Holiday's past. Now she'll need them to help her find the truth about hers. In 6 Minutes Out of Time, the long-awaited sequel, Cyrus Anders is found unconscious near the mysterious Elixir Academy in Florida, and Brinley learns the school may have a shocking connection to her missing mother.
Dive in now and get the most downloaded family audio adventure in history. Follow 6 Minutes wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen early and ad-free with the GZM family subscription.